Hello. Today I have a very special guest, the man who celebrated my 500th TV show here, and he's now interim president of Harris-Stowe State University, Dr. Dwyane Smith. Dr. Dwyane Smith, today on The Bernie Hayes Show. Dr. Smith, welcome back. It's so good to see you.
Thank you so very much, Bernie.
So much is happening and so things are happening so fast. You're the interim president of Harris-Stowe State University.
Yes.
And I know even when you were provost, you had so many wonderful ideas, so many futuristic ideas for Harris-Stowe State University.
Right.
Can you expound on some of them now?
Sure. First of all, Bernie, thank you so very much for having me as your guest. It's always a delight to be here.
Thank you so much.
In your presence. But Harris-Stowe, we have a mantra, it's a great day to be a Hornet. And the reason it's a great day is because all the wonderful things are happening. Our enrollment is strong. We have the best, the strongest academically sound first-year class. Average GPA of that class is around a 3.0. Many of these students are coming in for our STEM programs. We're expanding our programs. So those are the great things that I'm proud of.
What's the STEM program?
President. So STEM is science.
You're the leader of that STEM.
Oh yeah, yes. So STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And about 30% of our students are STEM majors. So most people think of us as a teacher education institution, but we actually graduate more African Americans in biological science and mathematics. Wow. First of all, we're one of the top leaders in that area, but also we are that's one of our top degree producers at Harris-Stowe at this time. So most people, again, think of us as teacher education, which is really strong. But we also have, we're making great strides and inroads in the STEM arena.
You recently celebrated a homecoming.
Oh, yes. Homecoming is still going on now.
Well, not now. We
did. Yeah. Sure. So we celebrated homecoming, had a lot of wonderful events. We had the kickoff. We had the battle of the DJs. We had basketball games, soccer games.
Good food.
Oh, always good food. I call it as food, fun, and fellowship. Okay. Celebrating community.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Smith, you amaze me because in all our conversations, we may be talking about the 60s music, the Spinners or somebody. We may be talking about football. But yet and still, your conversation always reverts back to education. And the community of it. Education community, all the academics, where'd you get that spirit?
Well, because education is what consumes me.
Okay.
Education was the deliverer of me and my family out of poverty. I'm from the west side of St. Louis, the Wells Goodfellow area, and it was it was education that transformed my life. And so that's all I know, really. I've been doing higher education for 35 years. I'm in December start 36 years. I started off very young, right out of college, and my focus is how do we get students, underrepresented students, African American students, low income students to college degrees. I know it worked for me, and I know it can work for others. So that's why I talk about education all the time.
Sure. Yeah. But you're passionate with it. You really. You're a leader. Tell us a little about your history. Grammar school education, high school, through the universities, and
so I am born and bred
higher education.
Right, and I'm born and bred, and I'm proud to be from St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
So I grew up on Holman tracks,
okay.
And went to public school, St. Louis public schools, and actually, my whole trajectory in education was public education. So I'm a strong advocate for public education. So I went to Ford Elementary, that's a West Side school, graduated from Sodan High School and O'Fallon Tech when it was O'Fallon's Gateway now, and went off to college. It was transformed my freshman year. My first year, I came out a different person.
What school was that?
Went to, it's Truman State University, but it was Northeast Missouri State. Was hired at the institution right after graduation. Went on to receive my master's from Truman State in education leadership. Then earned my PhD from the University of Missouri Columbia in education leadership and policy analysis with an emphasis in Black studies in multicultural education and did a certificate program at Harvard. And now I'm a Fulbright scholar with the goal of going to Ghana, work at the University of Ghana.
Is that an immediate future? I mean,
Yeah, oh yes. It's just haven't had time to carve out to do that, but certainly it's a great honor for me to be selected as a Fulbright scholar, and also my goal is to encourage and to inspire others, particularly underrepresented groups, to become scholars, Fulbright scholars.
Congratulations!
Thank you. So
I'd like to mention also that Dr. Dwyane Smith is also the person who allowed the National Black Radio Hall of Fame to become a resident of the Harris-Stowe State University family. And the Wolf Jazz Institute, he appointed me director of that.
Yes, ma'am.
And also the National Black Radio Hall of Fame was just the St. Louis Black Radio Hall of Fame. And Dr. Smith is the one who encouraged us to become the National Black Radio Hall of Fame. And now, Dr. Smith, I'm proud to say that we have 12 chapters across the country.
I'm proud, and I brag about the Radio Hall of Fame all the time. And it's so significant for me because growing up impoverished, what we had was the radio. Sometimes we didn't have a television station, but we had the radio station. And I recall listening to you and Doug Easton. I mean, you all are my heroes. And so, and I really mean this from my heart, that when I'm in your presence, I just feel honored, and I just think how far I've come to listen to you on the radio, and it encouraged me, inspired me. And it's one of the long-running jokes that people have about me is I know so much about music. So I can pinpoint a particular time period in my life and what music was part of that landscape or that soundtrack. And and the radio stations here in St. Louis was instrumental in my maturation. I really mean that.
I appreciate that very much. So, and you've shown it. You don't have to tell us if you've really actually shown that. But I still get back to education. You are so gung-ho. That's right. To make sure that the people in the community are educated. Did you do the same thing in Kansas? Over in Missouri? Yeah, I mean, so again, 35 years in higher education. I started off as what they call a minority counselor. Okay. And my goal was to, again, get students to finish line graduation. And went from there. I was a faculty member at the University of Missouri Columbia and taught in the Graduate School of Education. Wow. Left there and then was Associate VP of Enrollment Management, so I worked with enrollment at Park University. And then before Harris-Stowe, I was at a small Catholic school, Assistant Vice President of Academic Affairs. So I did the hodgepodge of things. I was over the adult learning program and technology. And so that led me to Harris-Stowe with this big vision of what we can do as an HBCU here in St. Louis. Well, what's your vision for the next few years at Harris-Stowe? Sure. I mean, the vision is to, again, take it to another level. And that sounds so cliche, but it's true that, we started off as a teacher's college, one of the oldest ones west of Mississippi, but we expanded from 12-degree programs when I arrived to now we have over 50 major minors and certificate programs. And the goal really now is to afford Pell-eligible students, which is those are considered students that meet a certain income threshold. Receive Pell Grants. Pell Grants, yes, to give them the same opportunities if they were to go elsewhere. So we're in the process of working with the National Geospatial Agency in developing geointelligence certification and degrees. We're looking at actually a adult learner program. So we have about 400,000 individuals in the St. Louis region alone with prior college credit, but no degree. Wow. And so we want to credential these individuals. And we have a new program that we're finishing up that will be launched spring of 2020. And I allow those individuals, those adult learners, to come back and earn their degree. Oh, that's wonderful. That's really a wonderful vision to have. Dr. Dwyane Smith is our guest. He's interim president of Harris-Stowe State University. And Dr. Smith, I guess you can see the Bernie Hayes mug here. Right. And also next to that is the Harris-Stowe State University mug. That's right, yes. It is also the Webster University mug. Yeah, but I love the Harris-Stowe State University mug. And I love yours as well. I appreciate that. But, and I also know you talk about academics also, but I know that you also was very supportive of Reverend Larry Rice at the New Life Evangelistic Center. In fact, you told me that you donated things to the New Life Evangelistic Center. And Reverend Rice knew that you'd be my guest today, and he wanted you to have his brand new book.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
So how the St. Louis gentrifiers try to destroy a church because of its homeless congregation. It's called Through the Fire.
Thank you.
So
Thank
that's
you
your
so
personal.
very much. I appreciate that.
Okay, that's
thank
from
you.
Reverend Larry Rice.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Reverend Rice would also like for folks to know that this Bernie Hayes Show mug is very essential to keeping the Bernie Hayes Show on the air at New Life Evangelistic Center, operating as a shelter and also a wonderful, wonderful place in the community. So here's Reverend Larry Rice to show you how you can get a mug.
For many years, Bernie Hayes has been on the front lines leading the charge for social justice. It's been a great privilege of mine to get to know Bernie personally, and I want us, in celebration of all that Bernie has done, to share with you one of these very special Bernie Hayes mugs and a copy of a book, Through the Fires, which tells you about the battle for social justice at 1411 Locust, where gentrifiers came into the neighborhood and literally shut down the church at the New Life Evangelistic Center at 1411 Locust Street because they didn't want those kind of people in the neighborhood. Direct bigotry. Now, if you'll request this mug and share a gift of $25 or more, we'll send you this book, 328 pages that go into great detail on all the manipulating behind the scenes and on the scenes that took place in order for the city of St. Louis to consider it a nuisance because there were hurting and homeless people in the neighborhood. We would love to see a beloved community, that when development takes place in a community, instead of the poor and the elderly and the homeless being pushed out, it's a beloved community that welcomes people from all over, regardless of their racial background or who they might be. They're people made in the image of God. Bernie Hayes has fought for that for years. And now we're teaming up with Bernie in a very special and powerful way. If you'll just call in our 421-302, or you can send your special gift and just say, please send me the Bernie Hayes mug. We will include in that Through the Fire, historical book that I've written on how the St. Louis gentrifiers tried to destroy a church because of its homeless congregations. You know, there's a common saying that if your neighbor's house on fire, yours in danger also. The bigotry, the hypocrisy in the city of St. Louis affects all of us. I thank God for Bernie, who has continued to point it out and root it out. Now we're teaming up with Bernie. When you request the Bernie Hayes mug and share a gift of $25 or more to New Life Evangelistic Center, I'll include my book, Through the Fire. We'd love to hear from you. Share now. P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri.
Welcome back. My guest is Dr. Dwyane Smith, Interim President of Harris-Stowe State University. Dr. Smith, you've been at so many other universities and so many places around the country, but St. Louis is home.
Yes, St. Louis is home, and I will always call it home. Mm-hmm. I understand all the ups and downs of the city, but for me, I'm an example of not is where you come from, it's where you're going and where you are today.
Okay.
I mean, so I'm not embarrassed. I'm transparent about my upbringing, growing up on the Holderman tracks and growing up what they call the Wells and Goodfellow area. Okay. And actually used to catch the bus at Wells and Goodfellow. and so to be able to move in all types of directions. I've lectured across the world. I mean, I did a series of lectures on multiculturalism in Great Britain. Wow. and traveled across the country. But my base, I started from the Wells Goodfellow neighborhood. And for me, that's remarkable because it shows that with hope and faith and support, anything and everything is possible.
You know, you've shown it so many times. But the Schoolbright Fellowship mess with your interim, position at Harris-Stowe, the tenure. Would it break up the tenure?
No. Actually, so I'm a part of a Fulbright. Most people think of Fulbright fellowships as a year-long process. I'm a part of it's called a specialist program. It's for administrators. So the goal is to allow short-term visits as a scholar to a country, any of the countries across the world that participate in Fulbright. And so my goal, I have up until like 3 months. I can't, of course, take 3 months, but I want to take a few weeks to work at the University of Ghana. And the goal also is to establish partnerships with the University of Ghana and Harris-Stowe State University.
It's wonderful. I'm at the Wolf Jazz Institute there at the National Black Radio Hall of Fame in Harris-Stowe State University. But it's just amazing at so many other things that are coming through Harris-Stowe State University. I look at the communication schedule, and every department is doing something at Harris-Stowe State University. It's amazing.
That's right. We have we not only have the Wolf Jazz Institute, but we have the social sciences. We have the speakers and symposiums that impact every academic unit. Mm-hmm. And so it's exciting times at Harris-Stowe.
And they all present something. They all doing a presentation. And most of your professors are writing books.
That's right. We have, scholars who study and travel across this globe. Yeah. And I would say that we have the strongest academic profile of our faculty members probably in decades. Wow. Close to 90% of our faculty members possess their terminal or PhD in their area of study. They have published in first-rate journals. Yeah. Even you look at our STEM faculty, the average the percentage of STEM faculty across the United States that earn STEM grants is a little bit over 50%. Ours is over 75%.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, and we do things collaboratively. We work with Washington University. We work with Central University. Even Alabama A&M, we have partnerships to advance our students in their research agendas and also their educational pursuits.
Huntsville, Alabama.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Alabama A&M.
That's right.
I know that every year that Harris-Stowe State University has a big Martin Luther King program, tribute in honor of Martin Luther King. And I understand this year is going to be, next year, 2020, is going to be a much even larger program.
That's right. So the goal is always to be nimble, to change and shift. We understand the ideals and the vision of Dr. King. Mm-hmm. And so we also always want to align ourselves with that. We also want to be inclusive of the younger millenniums, as well as those individuals that have supported the event all throughout the year. So stay tuned on the exciting things that you're going to see as we announce the program for the Martin Luther King kickoff celebration at Harris-Stowe State University.
Yeah, I've heard rumors about it, so it's going to be fantastic.
That's right.
There's so many other wonderful things too. But also understand that you have a very dedicated regimen on health, and that you're a runner. Tell us about that.
That's right. Thank you for that. I am a runner.
Yes,
I just completed, along with my daughter, the 5K this weekend.
Wow.
And I believe in self-efficacy. And what that means is the belief that you can do something.
You can do it.
Yeah, and so, I had some health challenges a few years ago. And again, my testimony is through hard work and dedication and having a vision, you can transform yourself. And so over the last couple of years, I've lost over 70 pounds, and been able to be medicine-free. Also started off, my goal was to run a half marathon, and just one lap at a time, and I completed a half marathon. My last challenge, I said I can work out a run 100 days consecutively. Uh-huh. And when I started on day 2, I said, can I do this? But I ran for 102 days consecutively. So put in about over 250 miles during that time period. So I'm always reaching for the stars. And so the health part is so important because you can't be a leader if you're not healthy. And so that's, for me, that's my testimony, that I feel that when you take care of your body, you can take care of other people and other individuals, other things.
Unless your daughters run with you.
Oh, yeah. So we up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, I'm up at 4:30. I get them up at 5, and we go to the track, and at first they kind of scoffed at it, but now they look forward to it. Yes.
This is a great thing. You just amaze me. It's all the wonderful things that you do and the visions that you have.
Thank you. Thank you.
What did this come from the home? Your mom, your dad, your siblings? Where did this drive come from?
Well, this drive, I would say essentially came from my mother. So my mother, just a quick story. My mother, she's deceased. She was born in 1926. So she was born during the Great Depression, but she was one of the millions of African Americans who left the South during the Great Migration. Okay. She was a daughter of sharecroppers. My grandfather was a sharecropper. And she came to St. Louis, but didn't have a high school diploma because the whites in her small town decided that blacks needed to pick cotton. Sure. And so basically they did away with the 12th grade for all the individuals, African Americans in that town.
Wow.
It wasn't until the 54 decision of Brown that outlawed segregation that the town had a 12th grade for African Americans. By that time, my mother was an adult.
Sure.
And so she came to St. Louis, but she had this drive about education. You know, she sold. I mean, she was an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't have that term back then, but she sold garments and made turbans and things like that to help balance the budget. But because of that, I have seven brothers and sisters. We have over 12 college degrees.
Wow.
I mean,
That's amazing.
And I talk about my brother, who was the first to receive a degree. We could trace our family back to 1820.
Beautiful.
Dwyane Smith. And he earned his degree about 150 some odd years later in 1977, the first Smith to earn a college degree, and bought my mother a brand new house. And he got that house not because he had a recording contract. He wasn't a professional football player, but he was one who thrived on education. Mm-hmm. He received a college degree, and then he was able to shift the trajectory of my family.
I can see why education is so important to you.
That's right. That's right.
Dr. Dwyane Smith, the interim president at Harris-Stowe State University, is my guest. And we're here at the New Life Evangelistic Center. I want to come back and ask Dr. Smith how to reach you too, but in the meantime, we're at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri, 63114. But we still have the same programs that we were presiding and administrating down at 1411 Locust Street in downtown St. Louis, Missouri. In fact, Reverend Rice and his volunteers and helpers are still trying to reopen 1411 Locust Street. But in the meantime, we need your help and support just to remain here and to provide the services that we used to provide downtown. And with 2428 Woodson Road, Overland, Missouri. And you may do it through Post Office Box 466, St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri, 631. I'm sorry. Post Office Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, 63166. Or online at www.newlifeevangelisticcentre, that's one word, .org. MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover Card. Takes less than 2 minutes to make an investment in the New Life Evangelistic Center. Back with Dr. Dwyane Smith after this.
When people are hurting, New Life Evangelistic Center is there, and that includes the mothers and the babies. So many mothers remain out on the streets with their little ones, and New Life Evangelistic Center is creating safe houses and opportunities for mothers and their children. One of those is Audrey.
I'm thankful for New Life being here and helping me and my 4 children out. Without them, we'd probably be on the street right now, and it's going to become winter time, and it would be bad. So I'm thankful for New Life Evangelistic Center. I'm thankful for Larry Rice, Pastor Mark, and all the women that's in this program.
And I praise God for all of you that are supporting the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. As she said, yes, the weather is getting cold. Your prayers and gifts are absolutely critical at this time. Please help make a difference in the life of a child and its mother. It's P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri. That's 63166. Or go online at NLCE-TV
We'll return to our guests after this Black History Moment. Today's subject, Dory Miller. Born in Waco, Texas in 1919. In 1938, he enlisted in the Navy as a mess attendant to earn money for his family. At that time, the Navy was segregated, so combat positions were not open to African Americans. On December 7, 1941, Miller saw the Japanese planes were still dive bombing the U.S. Naval Fleet at Pearl Harbor. He picked up a .50 caliber Browning anti-aircraft machine gun, in which he had never been trained, and managed to shoot down 3 to 4 Japanese aircraft. Dory Miller was sent on tour of the United States to raise money for the war bonds, but Miller was soon called back in the spring of '43 to serve on the new escort carrier called the USS Liscum Bay. On November 24th, the ship was hit by a single torpedo fired from a Japanese submarine. However, many officers and men of the Navy felt that for his actions at Pearl Harbor, Miller deserved to be awarded the Medal of Honor. He was the first African American awarded the U.S. Navy Cross, and he was also one of 4 naval heroes featured on U.S. postal stamps in 2010. Dory Miller.
Now you can take NLCE-TV anywhere as you put the NLCE-TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. NLCE-TV is an innovative TV station that's on the cutting edge of community service. On NLEC-TV, you'll discover wholesome family, community, renewable energy, and inspirational programming. Those needing energy assistance, food, clothing, or freedom from the cycle of homelessness will find that plus much more on NLEC-TV. Now, you can receive NLEC-TV by going to 24.2 on your television set or putting the NLEC-TV app on your iPhone or mobile device. For further information, call 314-436-2424 or go to NLECSTL.org. That's NLECSTL.org.
Dr. Dwyane Smith is my guest. He's the interim president of Harris-Stowe State University. Hopefully, he'll remain president at Harris-Stowe State University. This is everyone's hope and what we're striving for. And if any way we can help you just remain and get that word out there that you should be the president of Harris-Stowe State University, that's what we want to do. People should know that the dedication that you have and the degrees, and you're certainly well qualified, more than qualified. Can you be overqualified for that position?
I'm really blushing. You don't know that, right?
Well, that's the truth.
But I thank you for those words, and I'm not running for president. I just want to do my best job possible.
Sure.
So, but I thank you for those words.
But those who are making that selection certainly should say that Dwyane Smith is there. He's running the university. You were running it as provost, actually, but you're doing such a wonderful job, and I'm sure those who know about Dr. Dwyane Smith at Harris-Stowe State University will say, hopefully, that you'll remain the president of Harris-Stowe State University. Dr. Smith, how can one reach you?
So certainly, our website at Harris-Stowe State University is www.hssu.edu.
Okay.
And then you can call us at 314-340-3366, and we can connect you to the admissions office. And that's also want to share this, that we're the most affordable institution in the region, one of the most affordable institutions in the state of Missouri. And so we're accepting applications. We have over 50 major, minors, and certificate programs. So whatever major you have, we probably have it at Harris-Stowe.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're historically black college university, HBCU.
Yeah, HBCU. So we have this interesting history. We were founded in 1857 as Harris Teachers College for white women. But what was novel at the time is that women, period, did not have opportunity for education. And most people don't know that African American men graduated before the white woman. Wow. So Harris was founded only 17 years after the first white woman graduated from college. And Stowe was founded in 1890 as a school for African American women. So this is 30 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. And so the schools existed side by side. We had a longtime president, Dr. Ruth Harris, one of the first African American women who led an institution. Wow. And then, so of course, it integrated as a result of the Brown decision. And then, under the leadership of Dr. Henry Givens, yes. We took it. We went to another level with this thing, and so now we're through this leadership that's coming through now. We're now known for STEM. So for Harris-Stowe State College to Harris-Stowe State University. We're about out of time, Dr. Smith. I just want to say thank you so much for visiting with us, and you're such an inspiration to me. Every time I see you and every time I speak with you, I'm more inspired, and I am. Yes. And the children who walk the halls at Harris-Stowe State University, not only children, but the faculty also and staff that walk through Harris-Stowe State University, they say they're proud to be a Hornet. Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. It's a great day to be a Hornet. And it's really, really, really great. And I just want to thank you and then to wish that you're the very, very best and success in your endeavors. And I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the New Life Evangelistic Center. Come by and visit us at 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri. And you can bring some water, some clothing, something that the people in need will need and accept and support. Thank you so very, very much. 2428 Woodson Road, Overland, Missouri, the New Life Evangelistic Center. Reverend Larry Rice has been here nearly 50 years. I'm Bernie Hayes. Until next time, have a great day.